Hi everyone. A few of you have asked me about my motivations for coming to Spain, and I thought it might also shed some light on sort of the idiosyncratic and very intuitive processes and decisions surrounding the channeling and the work I do with it and my life surrounding it. So first off, I'm in an area called Las Alpujarras, and it's located at the foothills of Sierra Nevada, which I believe means snowy mountain, and you can probably see why in the background. I think it's the biggest national park in Spain, and it's located centrally in Andalusia, which is southern Spain, and was also the area where the Moorish invasion, or simply the Moorish settlements from the 700s and onwards until the Reconquista in 1492, um, where the Muslim kingdoms existed for the longest, and so it is kind of an interesting area where a lot of alchemical processes took place, and the Jewish Golden Age were, for instance, also set in Andalusia, and the development of Kabbalah and Jewish mysticism, and a lot of the early Sufi poets also had a great influence here, as long as, of course, some of the great Aristotelian Muslim thinkers, such as Averroes. So it is kind of a special place, but the reason I went here was, for some reason, I began to feel sort of out of tune with the environment I was in Denmark, and it's interesting because I was doing really well out there in the woods for a long time, but for some reason I just felt compelled to move and go someplace else. And then there was a lot of encounters and ideas flowing in from friends and other people's, and I was listening to a podcast on the Albigensian Crusades, or the Crusade against the Cathars, and and that sort of brought my attention to the cult of the Black Madonna, and that strain of mystical Catholicism, which then lives on in Spain in a kind of low key manner. And I believe there's also a shrine to her someplace here in these mountains that I want to seek out. Um, and for a long time, I also had the idea that I should get nearer to the mountains and the desert. And I was looking into moving to the Tabernas Desert, which is I think maybe 100 miles southeast of here. Um, but I settled on this area, which is kind of a hippie hotspot in Europe, and has a lot of interesting different people who didn't really feel that their work fit in anywhere else. And so, for instance, there's a Buddhist community, and there's a Sufi center, and I believe there's a mosque and a Waldorf school right down here in the small village where I'm situated. And it was very much the Arcturians that were calling me here, and I didn't really understand why, but they kept bringing me visions of the night sky and this type of um, accumulator of Arcturian energy that was pyramid shaped, and would have a certain alloy surrounding it. And they also kept showing me that the place to build it was in southern Spain. And I haven't really comprehended why, but I really felt compelled to get closer to the night sky. And the case in Denmark and Scandinavia in general is that if it's not overcast in the winter, then it's usually very cold, and in the summer we have bright nights, so the stars aren't very visible most of the time. And so just being able to go outside and look at the night sky is something I feel is very good for my soul. And I also feel that the energies in these landscapes seem to be interacting with the practice in general. And it's been quite overwhelming for me, and I've also had some physical ailments, like a cold sore on my lip and a block in my ear that I managed to clear out yesterday. So it's also been a little hard adjusting to these energies, but I really feel that they're molding me in a very interesting way, and that something interesting is unfolding here. And so I thought that I'd bring in Ublam to try to explain about what it is with this landscape and with what I'm doing down here um, that actually might shed some light on this intuitive process. Yes, hello, friends. Greetings, blessings to you. Our love and my particular love I bring to you and everyone interacting with this message. I am Ublam of the Arcturian Council. We are very pleased to see how so many of you have opened yourself up to radical energetic shifts. You see, to us, seen from a higher dimensional perspective, it is quite evident that the Earth can also be described as a pattern of energetic gridworks that then manifest in these slow geological arrangements of the landscape. And so every valley, every mountain, every peak, every sea, every lake, and every puddle, they all have their special energetic signature that make you perceive them, resonate with them, and interact with them. You cannot experience things that are not within your resonance pattern. And often, what will happen, and what is happening to many of you who have become so energetically attuned in these years, you might feel that you have been so all your lifetime, but notice how easy it is for you to perceive. Notice how for 10 years ago you would have to struggle to maintain these connections. You would have to seek out special communities, or you would have to seek out special methods. And now these methods seem ready at hand. What you are dealing with, the most of you, are actually sorting out the influx of information, impulses, callings, intuitions that are coming to you. And so what happened to this dear one and why we have brought him here is that our energy and higher vibrational energy resides much better in higher altitudes. We are not too fond of what is close to the ground because we come beaming in from the galactic spheres, and so the closer you approach the core of the Earth, the closer you approach the unique signature of Earth herself. And for beings that arose in different environments, it becomes more and more difficult to interact with and communicate with these energies as you approach Earth. And so humans are, of course, Earthlings. You were made of this planet and you were created from it. But there is a different aspect, and that is that the energetic alignment of many of you, especially of those of you who might identify with this type of work with the label of light worker or starseed, many of you have been trying all your life to integrate different energetic patterns that arose in different incarnational experiences in your own akashic trajectory. And therefore, it can be hard for you to settle into dense environments. However, it would also be of no use to the work you are doing here and the processes unfolding through you if you hadn't experienced the density and had understood the contrast to those energies in your own experience. And so, time itself, as we have explained to you, is moving into something of a higher frequency. Processes are speeding up, and that means for many of you that you have had to reorient yourself in your professional alignment, in your physical alignment, and in your environmental alignment. These are all necessary steps in order to get to that end game which you have selected to play. And the end game is exactly the process of self-discovery. The end game is the integration of a higher dimensional perspective, that is to say, aligning fifth dimensional energetic understanding with fourth dimensional temporal understanding, and with the three base dimensions that constitute space. This is an important process, and those of you who have volunteered and made yourself available to this work, you are being aided, pushed, and guided, but you are being aided, pushed, and guided in a way that leads you gently forward and also retains the mystery of adventure and discovery. And so, what is becoming present in this dear one's experience is a coming forward of abundance, of a nature of a more superfluous kind. It is aligning with a place where things spill over from their own fertile growth. There is great wilderness around here, and wilderness offers up potential. There is also great antiquity around here, and antiquity offers up experience and understanding. For all of you, this process is repeating in your own reality tunnel, and these reality tunnels, they are becoming more exquisite, they are becoming more flavored with the intentions that you have put into them as you progress into this process. And so it is very lovely for us to be able to also harvest the energy of your star as it shines down upon the body of this dear one we are coming through, and to be able to, with the assistance of the entire network of galactic families, to align the human species with your immersion and acceptance into the galactic brotherhood of understanding. All of us and all of your guides are so pleased that you are doing this, and they are making it easier and easier for you to reach out to them, as you have made it easier and easier for them to communicate with you. Therefore, know that hope springs eternal, and it springs from a situation that you have chosen in order to live a life that brought forward wonder and made obvious the wonderful. Therefore, my great love I bring to you, humankind, from me, from the Arcturian Council, and from all your galactic brethren, from the heavens, from your star, and from your Mother Earth. I remind you of the great love that is here for you. I bless you, and I leave you this wonderful day. He's such a sweet guy.